Alright fellas, welcome back. We are doing there we go. We're doing the dry hop and the coconut additions now for the coconut shy IPA. She's currently at 10:09, so I think she's pretty much done. So let's crack her open and chuck these in. Let's have a look at her. Oh, there she is, look. She's looking stunning. Stunning. Right, let's grab her out, pop the lid and get these bad boys chucked in. There she goes. There she is. Coconut and mosaic. I'm going to leave her for 4 days. I'll leave her for 4 days and then we'll crash chill her. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a comment to the tilt. Dry hop. Okay, so now when I look at the data on the tilt, all that agitation that we've just done, getting her in and out, and of course now we've added the hops and everything's going to get disturbed, so it will log any difference, any major difference in the logging. It will have the note next to it that says that that's when we dry hopped it. But yeah, that's it. That's the dry hop and coconut in for the coconut shy IPA. We have put a new shelf in and we're getting all the little bits and bobs now, a little dropper bottle for the lactic acid there. I need to just get some iodine I think now, and I think I've pretty much got everything that I need to get. Right, to finish this video off, it's a couple of days after we dry up the coconut shy, but for you it's instant. But I want to finish the video off by sorting out the mash manifold once and for all. I had a parcel come from the malt miller yesterday. I've got some more silicone hose because I'm going to be once and for all sorting out the cooling through the plate chiller, keeping it all inside the brewery. I don't want to have to be getting the hose into the brewery. That was the plan all along. That's why we had the tap down there, obviously for filling up, but for cooling the water chiller as the water is running in. So I've got 4 meters because I also want to change some of the hose lengths, because now that we're putting the strike water in the boil pot and recirculating and putting it into the mash tun and whatnot, on the last brew day we were short of hose length, and so we had to sort of squeeze all the pots together, and I thought, well, it's not that expensive. I'll see if I can give myself a little bit more space, a little bit more length with the hose. So we've got some more hose, and I also needed this little 1/2-inch collar ring to finish a project or to sort out the mash manifold. So this is the mash manifold. You've seen it before. This sits in the mash tun. So this sits above your mash bed, and I think it's designed to have the hose that runs off of this. This goes into the inlet that comes off the Hermes coil. That screws onto there, and then you have a silicone hose that runs from this this and you just let it sort of drop into the mash, but I don't like that. I don't like this sitting in the mash because the mash on both occasions that I've brewed recently has been, well, it's been the proper consistency of a mash, and this sort of sinks into the mash, it doesn't sit on top. And I know there's some people that have said that theirs just sinks into the mash, that's fine, but I also then want to, without messing about, use this as a sparge manifold. So I want it out of the mash and I want it to rain down into the mash tun. So on the last two videos, brew day videos that we put up, we were using a shorter length of silicone hose and then using the spoon that we mix the mash with to sit across the mash tun under the hose to keep it out of the bed. And although it worked, it meant that when I wanted my spoon I couldn't have it, and I don't want to be brewing where I'm having to cobble things together with the mash spoon and bits of hose. So I thought, right, we're gonna rectify it. I want this in the mash tun without any messing about. Not to mention the fact I can't put the lid on the mash tun because the spoon's in the bloody way. Right, let's have a look at this. I had a rummage through my box of bits of the stainless that I could put together something to attach the manifold to the mash tun semi-permanently. So of course we already have this for the manifold. We already had this in our box of stainless steel goodies. I think it's 1 inch long, 1/2 inch, 3/16 stainless steel. So we have this cam lock fitting, we have this, we have this, we have an elbow, and I think we have everything here we need to attach the manifold to the mash tun. First thing I want to do, because I have mocked this up already, is I'm going to be attaching this extension to the inlet. Now, I don't really want these to be, or it isn't important that these don't leak, these fittings, because it's just going to rain down into the mash, it doesn't matter. But I need this collar to be threaded partially onto this inlet. If I go too far with it, then it throws everything out and the mash manifold hits the side wall. So I'm just going to add a little bit of PTFE tape to these just to make sure that they don't spin round. Then we're going to attach the cam lock. Attach the cam lock to this so that we can detach the manifold. We can attach the manifold from the mash tun when we need to take it out. Now we add this 1/2 inch collar to the other end of the cam lock fitting, like so, and that gets attached to that male to male, which then gets attached to this elbow, like so, and then this, which would have gone here, goes onto the end of the elbow, like so. So now we've got an arm that we can get into the cam lock fitting. So all we need to do now is attach the manifold to this barb. Right, so now it's all put together and we've got our female cam lock just in the mash tun now all the time. when we want to attach the manifold to her. Pop her in and fit her in. Just like so. Boop, boop. And that's it. And more importantly, the lid goes on, there's no spoon in the way, and keep the manifold out the mash and use it as a sparge manifold when we've done. Friggin' right. And then of course when we're done with it and we're ready for cleaning, taking it to bits, out she comes. And that wraps that up. So I'm happy with that. We'll see how it goes in the next brew day, which is happening this weekend. I'm having another brew day on Sunday, an early morning brew day. But there we go. Manifold in the mash tun without having to raise it out the mash using a spoon. I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so yes, on Sunday we will be doing up. We'll be having another brew day. We're brewing up a best bitter, and I'm not. I mean, it sounds like I'm brewing quite a bit, which I suppose I am. But the only reason why I'm trying to knock this bitter out so soon after the coconut Charpier. So, I mean, the coconut Charpier is sat and due at the minute, still in the fermenter. So, Saturday I'll keg the coconut Charpier. We'll have a video on that. I shall take a hydrometer reading, I'll degas it, hydrometer reading, and then I can put all that information into Beersmith. And then Saturday night, caustic, sanitise, ready for the next morning where it'll be having a bitter. I think that is the quickest turnaround of a beer out of a fermenter and wort going into the same fermenter. I don't think I've ever done anything like that in the same fermenter before, but I have to get this bitter done because we've got family coming round for bonfire night, and so I want to sort of showcase this new brewery because I don't think any of the family has really properly seen it yet. So we'll have a big tidy up, we'll get all the pots on display, and we will have the Idaho 7 New England IPA, we'll have the coconut Charpier, and we should have the best bitter. So the keezer will be full, ready for a good time to be had by all. Friggin' right. So yeah, that's it, fellas. That's it for this one. Might have another one up before, I don't know. I might have one up before the brew day, but I'm not sure. Well, that's it, fellas. As always, don't forget how much better because don't forget it's like and subscribe. Click it while I can. Tell everybody what to say. Till next time. I'm out of here.